guys, it's Jessica from Peace Love Books, and today I'm here with a very exciting video that is in collaboration with Tori from Live a Novel Life. If you guys don't know, Tori is one of my absolute best friends. We just went to Dallas together for Book Bonanza. I love her dearly, and we chat every day. We chat about books, we chat about life, just everything that friends do. And I have a video that we are both doing that's a lot easier for me because we are going through our Audible library. It is an Audible library tour. If you did not know, Audible is the audiobook platform for Amazon, and I was very hesitant to try Audible because I have always listened to my audiobooks through the library. I always use either Hoopla or Libby. On Libby, I have 3 library cards entered. They're all in Ohio, which is the state I live in. Check out your state. One of them is 2 hours away from me, but because I'm a resident of Ohio, I could sign up for a library card, and I switch between all their catalogs. But for Hoopla, you can only have 1 library card active on there, so that's what I do. I have unlimited access on Libby, but I do have 20 audiobooks limit on Hoopla per month, and so between those, I get a lot of audiobook listening done. Since I primarily read romance, especially indie romance, there were so many audiobooks I was missing out on because they are not available in my library. I know some people, like my friend Lacey from Lacey Book Lovers, can recommend a lot to her library and they will immediately download that for their collection. Mine does not do that, unfortunately, so I felt kind of left out. There were books I wanted to read, and I saw amazing sales going on with Audible, and I know so many of my friends have it, so I did sign up. I signed up when they had, I think, 3 months free or 2 months free. I'm pretty sure there were 3 months free, so I got a credit a month, and now I do pay, and I decided to keep it because, one, I had access to tons of their sales, which is exciting because right when I joined, they had a huge sale where audiobooks were $3, $4, and $5 instead of their normal like $25. You get 1 credit each month, which accounts for 1 audiobook, and I think it's about $15 a month for that 1 credit, but you also get access to their Audible Plus catalog, which means that all of those are free to download. It's not as extensive as it was back in the good old days of Audible Escape, which if you've been around a while, you know about that. I think they went out of business like 4 years ago. I've been listening to audiobooks though for about 4 years, and I've never looked back. It's how I do a lot of my reading. I love audiobooks. I have favorite narrators, and I will constantly listen to audiobooks. Every morning I go for a run and walk my dogs. I listen to an audiobook then. I listen to it while I'm doing laundry, cleaning, sewing, everything. So driving, I have a long commute to work and I listen to my audiobooks, and I love them. And I've been loving Audible lately, and Audible will have sales occasionally. They recently had one where it was buy 2 books for 1 credit, which is a great deal. That means you get 2 audiobooks for $15, and so I did get 2 in that sale. And there are some books that are Audible exclusive. Some of my favorite authors, I'd love to listen to their backlist on audio, and I can't because some of them are Audible exclusive, so I have to get them through Audible. That's why I kept Audible. I feel like it is a pretty good deal, especially when those sales come around. Nothing has been as good as that sale that they had in like February and March time, where they had so many romances for so cheap, and I'm like kicking myself for not getting more. I think I spent like $80 in that sale, and I should have bought more. But they had a recent sale as well where some books were like $4 or $5 on audio, and they also sometimes have their read and listen on KU, where if you are a subscriber of KU, which I am, you can download the book and the audiobook will be available for free once you download it on KU, so that's pretty nice as well. So I said that this video was going to be easier for me to do because I only have 45 books in my Audible library. I've only been a subscriber for about 5 months now, and Tori has had it far longer than I have, so I think she has almost twice as many books as I do. But we both love audiobooks. I know that she listens to them during the day while she's working, and she loves romance too, though. We have very similar tastes, so I thought I would go through all the books that I have in my Audible library. They are completely out of order. I recently had to undownload some because my phone was running out of storage because I had so many downloaded, and so you can do that. You can keep them downloaded on your phone or make them not downloaded and they still stay in your library. They're just like grayed out to show that you own them. They're not actually currently on your phone. I've been talking for way too long. Okay, so I'm gonna go through how they are just in here. Some I have listened to already and really enjoyed. I don't think any of these actually in my Audible library I have really not liked the narrator. I have a few that I got from the library that I'm like, I don't like that narrator. Now, why I have never used AnyPlay, which I know is a favorite in the book community, they don't have higher speeds. I think Scribd only goes up to like 1.8 or something. I listen to my audiobooks on 3 times speed. That's just what I do. I'm a fast talker. I process quickly, and I need 3 times speed or else I am like not enjoying my audiobook experience. So I listen on 3 times speed. Audible does have 0.1 increments and they go up to 3.5. So anywhere from 0.5 to 3.5 and it goes 0.5, 0.6, 0.7 all the way up. So that is amazing. You can find the narration speed you want. And so the first audiobook I have in here is Heavy Crown by Sophie Lark. Now some of these actually I forgot to mention, you can download a book on KU and then get the audiobook for only $7.50, which is really cheap, and it's cheaper than using a credit because like I said, a credit is actually $15. And then instead I'd rather buy the $7.50 and save that credit for a much more expensive book. And sometimes I'll buy a book if I just want to keep it forever and I know I'll reread it a lot even if my library might have it. So I have Heavy Crown first because I bought a bunch of Sophie Lark books as I was reading her Brutal Birthright series, and so Heavy Crown is actually the last book in the series, and I think, no, don't download it. Yes, okay. I started downloading it. I meant to stop. I need to click, I keep on clicking on the cover and I have to click on the title details. So I believe this one's the last book in the series, and I'm pretty sure this one, I downloaded it on KU and bought it because I didn't get it during the sale that they had a while ago because I had only gotten like previous ones in the series, but this one is, I'm pretty sure the last book in the series, yes, and I wasn't the biggest fan of this one. So, I mean, it's a romance between 2 rival mafia families. I feel like there's always that kind of romance in these series. I think book 1 started out that way, but the families turn out not to be rivals anymore. And book 2, definitely they were rival families, and I feel like you always get that mafia romances. This wasn't my favorite. It's probably I think it's my second to least favorite in the series. It was just okay. I didn't love how it ended, but I know it ended because it set up the next series. So I love listening to the series on audiobook though. I would highly recommend. I'm so happy Sophie made those. And I believe her Kingmaker series is also on audio now. The next one I actually recently listened to, and I literally listened to the entire audiobook in one day, and that is Puck Me Secretly by Odette Stone. I really enjoyed this one. Narrators were great. I am someone who cannot read super long audiobooks. So a lot of these, my max is like 11 hours. More than that, I rarely will listen to it because I just don't like that. Because then if I drag a book out over like 3 days, I feel like it's taking me forever and I get annoyed. My prime audiobook length is about 11 hours, so I know I can listen to it in probably about 2 days. So Puck Me Secretly by Odette Stone though, I think it was one of the last ones in the Audible app that I listened to. It is so good. It is a hockey romance, and I know that McKay from Oh Hates McKay had loved this, so that's why when I saw it was part of the sale, I was like immediately download because my library only had, I think, books 3 and 4 on audio, which is an annoying thing my library does. So I downloaded it and it's really good. She is the kind of like apprentice for her dad, who is the owner of a hockey team, the general manager of a hockey team, and she is in a plane crash though before and is sitting next to this guy who like really helps her through it. They survive, they hook up, and then he is the new bad boy hockey player on the team. It was so good. I really enjoyed this one. 5 stars. Loved it. The next 2 are the ones that I most recently got actually. So these were both in the buy 2 for 1 credit sale, and the main reason I bought them is because they're Audible exclusives. I have looked through all my library apps, could not find these, and they are ones that are super high on my TBR. So the first one's Bad Boys Break Hearts by Macaulay Smelter. This one, I am super into Macaulay Smelter right now. I did enjoy book 1 of the Wildflower duet, so I read that physically, and I really want to read book 2, but then I did listen to, which is going to be on here a little later, Sweet Dandelion. Love that book, and so I want to read more by her. So this one, I believe, is a new adult, and I think he plays baseball? Let me double check that because I said, yeah, he is the star pitcher of the baseball team at their college. So I really want to read that one. And then I was so excited. Silent Waters by Brittany C. Cherry. This one I know is Avery's favorite romance from Ava Reads Romance. And I've been wanting to read this book, but it's just one of those books that's not like high on my TBR, but like I really want to get to it. And for those books, I typically just snag the audio so I know I can get to it quicker and I won't be able to physically read it. So this was on there. I've only read books 1 and 4 in this series, but I really want to get to books 2 and 3. This one I believe he is mute, and that's all I know. I believe it's super emotional. He lost his voice when he was 10, so that's all I know. But I know Avery loves it, and I love Brittany C. Cherry, and she's one that I usually listen to her audiobooks. I physically read books 1 and 4 in this series, but like a lot of her other ones I listen to. Most of her other ones I have, and I just love her audiobooks, so definitely had to get that. Another one that was in another recent sale, so I think it was like $4 or $5, is The Song of David by Amy Harmon. This is book 2 to the Law of Moses, which I feel like is one of her really underrated books. I read it a while ago, like years ago, and I really liked it. It was very interesting because the hero had like visions, and there was like some suspense thrown in as well, and it was very emotional. I think like he was found. I think he was just like found in a basket somewhere. I don't know what the Song of David's about at all. I know it's book 2. I don't think it follows the same characters at all. Zachary Weber is one of the narrators, so I actually saw him in person. I did not get to meet him, but there were a bunch of narrators at Book Bonanza that I went to, and Zachary Weber was there, so I really love him as a narrator. So this says, oh, he fights a lot of people. He won his first fight when he was 11, and he's been throwing punches ever since, and then he met Millie, and everything's different. It just sounds, it's probably gonna be like a super emotional romance, which is what Amy Harmon writes, but I'm gonna see Amy Harmon. She was at Book Bonanza, but I didn't have enough time to see her, so she is gonna be at a signing I'm going to in October, so I'm excited to see her then. Blindsided by Amy Dawes is the next one. I listened to this and absolutely loved it, and now this hero is Scottish, so he does have a Scottish accent, but it wasn't too much for me. Sometimes if an audiobook has a really heavy, thick accent, I have a hard time hearing it and like understanding it, and I have to slow the audiobook down, but this one was totally good. The heroine's also British, so that was fun, but this one, I didn't even see who sometimes they're like American narrators, but those don't look familiar. I don't remember. I don't know those two. This one is one that I downloaded on Kindle Unlimited and then got the audio for $7.50 because I was doing this for a reading vlog. I didn't have time. I was running out of time before I wanted to post it, and so I was like, okay, let me listen to an audio because I'll get through that so much faster. And I listened to it in a day and a half because I just fly through them. And so this one is a friend to lovers, and he's a soccer player, and she is a virgin, and he decides to help her in that area so she can find a date. Very cute. Then I have Full Measures by Rebecca Yarros. I feel like this one is part of Audible Plus. I don't know if I paid for this one, but this one is book 2 in this series. I know that. I think it's book 2 in the series. I don't know if it'll tell me if it's book 2. But these are romances. I don't know if they're military romances because Rebecca Yarros does write those. So he is an army brat is what it says. And so her father dies, her mom falls apart, and then Josh Walker enters her life. He is a hockey star and her new neighbor. Okay, so this one might be the one that Carrie has told me a lot about. I do own this one, and I own books 1 and 2. I met Rebecca Yarros like years ago at a Polycon and bought these, and I know Carrie has been trying to get me to read something that from Books for Romance that is her recommendation that I will love, so definitely want to get to this soon then and tell Carrie that I'm reading it. The next one I have is Deep Redemption by Tilly Cole. Anytime I see a Tilly Cole on sale, I snag that up. This is part of her Hades Hangman series. I did actually buy a few audiobooks during that huge sale they had at the beginning of the year because of books that I've read before that I want to reread, so that I just like have them forever and I can just go back to them whenever I want to, because that's what I want. I want to be able to listen to these audiobooks. I really like rereads as audiobooks. So this one, I don't remember what book this is in the series, but I really want to get through the series. I've read book 1 and I just need to continue on, but I don't remember book 1. I read it in like 2017. It's been a long time, so I do have that one, but I downloaded more from the series. So these are motorcycle romances, pretty dark motorcycle romances. Then from the, I don't think I paid for this one. This one I think is the Audible Plus catalog. I got Chosen by K.F. Breen. This author was at Book Bonanza and I wanted to read some from her, but I didn't get around to this one. But I believe it's a fantasy, and that's all I know. But it's a shorter fantasy. It's only an 11-hour audiobook, so I was like, that is at my time limit, and I think I'll enjoy that. There are, I think, 2 books in the series, and she has rare abilities and an uncanny fighting aptitude, so she's good at fighting. She's the only hope for her people. They're always at war. That's all typical fantasy romance. After that is Sweet Dandelion in my catalog. I've listened to this one. I loved it. This one is actually pretty long, so let me get to the title details. It's a long book. It's a long audio. It's 15 and a half hours, but I listened to it, but I had a lot of time on my hands that weekend, so I read it in 2 days. This one is a guidance counselor student romance. She survived a school shooting that her mother did not survive because her mom was a teacher there, and so now she's living with her brother and has to see this counselor every day. They fall in love. It is McKay's favorite book. I absolutely loved it. Then I have Lost Hearts by Lexi Blake. This one is another author that was going to be at that signing I went to, but I didn't get to it yet. And I believe, though, that my library has this, but I didn't buy it. It is part of Audible Plus, so I downloaded it. I want to get more into romantic suspense, and I listened to a couple that are in my library that I'll chat about, but this one is, I think, a spin-off of her other series, and in this one, they were mercenaries that woke up with no memory, and so so she lives in the Colorado wilderness, and she is a nature guide. Cool. So then she meets him. I'm really intrigued by that premise that all these guys like don't remember anything, so that's why I downloaded that one. We'll see if I like it. Then I have Sweatpants Season by Danielle Allen. This one I've already listened to. As soon as I saw Danielle Allen for sale, I was like, absolutely, I'm buying this because I love Danielle Allen and she doesn't have too many audiobooks, and this one was part of the sale. This one is a hate to love romance. She really hits it off with this guy in this photography class she's taking, but then she realizes he's part of a podcast she absolutely cannot stand that's full of misogynistic, disgusting men, and then they are also having to write columns at the same time for the same magazine about dating in their town. So it's a lot of forced proximity, but I ended up really enjoying this one and I was happy to have a Danielle Allen. This is also Wesley Siobhan who narrates this, and she is an amazing narrator. I really love her. I have no idea where this book came from. I have Royal Watch by Stacey Marie Brown. I feel like this must have been in the Audible Plus catalog because I don't remember even downloading this. She is a baron's daughter and she falls for the prince. Oh, is this reverse harem? Because then it talks about him having a really nice bodyguard too. Unless she falls for the bodyguard instead of the prince. I don't know. I have no idea where that came from, but I have it. I have Where the Truth Lives by Mia Sheridan, which is the second book to Where the Blame Lies, which I also have. This one I'm really excited to read. Hopefully this month. It is romantic suspense. I believe that there is someone found murdered and the heroine had worked with that person and the hero is an agent. So there's a serial killer on the loose. They fall in love. I also had to buy Still Beating. This was about a month after I had read the book, and it's one of my favorite books of the year, and so I was like, I know if I ever want to reread this book, I'm gonna want to listen to it, so I downloaded it. It's a very dark romance. They get kidnapped together. He is her sister's fiance and they hate each other. They get kidnapped together, have to do horrible things, and then they get out. So this one I had to download. I'm excited. I don't know if I know who the narrators are. It is Lori West and Christian Black. I don't know who those people are, but I'm excited because I love Jennifer Hartman and I had to have that one. I also have Deliver by Pam Godwin. This one's part of the Audible Plus catalog, so it was free to download. This has Teddy Hamilton, who I'm obsessed with. I love his voice, and this one's a very, very dark romance though. So this one, she kidnaps him in order to train him to be a sex slave, but they fall in love. Take it as you will. I have Constellation by Corinne Michaels, which is a love triangle romance. This is also part of the Audible Plus catalog, so that's why I downloaded it. I had some friends who really enjoyed it. This is Andy Arndt and Sebastian York. Andy Arndt was at that signing too. I didn't get to say hi to her, but she was there. I love her as a narrator as well. This one, our heroine's husband's in the military. She recently had a baby. He passes away. She falls for his best friend, but it's a love triangle. But the first one, there is no love triangle yet. So I was a little bit bored by this one. I gave it 3 stars. I didn't love it, but I might finish off the duet to see if I get the angst that I really wanted. I also have Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score, which I immediately one-clicked as soon as I saw it was part of a sale. I think it was like $5 or $6, and I was like, absolutely yes. Now this title is very long. It was 16 hours. But Sebastian York was one of the narrators. I love him, and I knew there was no way I was going to be able to physically read this anytime soon because it's so long, and so I wanted to do a reading vlog with it. So I got the audio and I listened to the whole thing, and it was really good. I also have Crimes of Passion by Jack Harvin, which Bree from In Love and Words and Tori from Novel Life, who I'm doing this video with, they love this one. It's a novella, and it is a Audible exclusive, but it's part of their Audible Plus catalog, so I could download it for free. And this one is 2 rival podcasters who are true crime podcasters. It's MM. It was so fun. It's hate to love. They have to collab together. Super fun idea, and I enjoyed the whole production value of it, so really enjoyed that. The next one is The Varsity Dad Dilemma by Lex Martin. This one I've had on my TBR for so long, and it was part of a sale, and I was like, absolutely yes, and I'm going to be able to get to it, and I did, and it's super cute. It is a single dad romance. She lives across the street from her brother, who is a football player, in a house full of football players. It is new adult, and so she hasn't really talked to her brother a lot. Their parents passed away, and they were split up. He went with relatives. She went into the foster care system because the relatives didn't want her, and so now there is a baby left on the boy's doorstep saying, here is this baby, it's yours, but the note was a little messed up, so they couldn't tell whose it was, and so she helps with the baby because it could be her brother's baby, and falls for this guy who lives there who she has a past with. So really enjoyed that one. Super cute new adult romance. And then I have Where the Blame Lies, which is the first book by Mia Sheridan, Where the Truth Lives. This one was really good. Heroine was kidnapped when she was in college, and it was horrifying, and she had a baby when she was kidnapped, and the kidnapper stole her baby, and she has no idea where it went. She ends up escaping and going back into her normal life. Not really, but kind of, and there ends up being a copycat killer because the guy who kidnapped her was found and he had died. This copycat Zodiac killer is up, and so this detective, who was really new on the case when she had first been kidnapped, is working it again and asks for her help. So really great romantic suspense. I really liked it. I also have Beloved by Corinne Michaels. I don't know what this is about. I think I was downloading more of hers because she's going to be at a bunch of signings I'm going to. She was at Book Bonanza. She's going to be at a Polycon. And this one sounds like she decides to forget men, focus on her job, and then this guy comes in and she can't resist him. That's literally all it says. So sounds interesting. I got it because it's Audible Plus, so it was free. I have Darling Venom, which I downloaded from the sale they had, I believe, and this one I knew I was going to take a while to get to physically because, again, it's a very long book. So if there's books that I'm like really want to get to, but they're really long, I will make an exception for my time limit rule. So this one was 15 hours, and it's Sebastian York and Jacob Morgan, who, if you did not know, Jacob Morgan is Zachary Weber, which I think is interesting. And so this one is a really good audiobook. Unfortunately, I didn't love the book. The heroine meets this guy on a roof when she wants to die by suicide, and so does the guy, but they make a pact to meet there every Valentine's Day and check up on each other, so they do not end up going through with their plans. But then one time she is late and he does go through with it, and then she meets his brother, and it's her romance with his brother. It was just okay. It was a little weird at parts, but then I have Wrecked Beginnings, which is actually the first 3 books in the Wrecked series by Catherine Cowles. This is a box set. I feel like I want the most for my money, the most bang for your buck with these audiobooks. So some authors do have box sets where they have 3 books in one. I know Candy Steiner has one of those as well, with 3 of her books that are standalones. So check out box sets if you want more value for your money. But I found this. I used a credit on it because I really want to get to the series, and my library does not have this series. They only have her Sutter Lake series on audio. So I was like, gotta listen to these, as I listened to all of her Sutter Lake books on audio and I love them. So I downloaded this, and they're 3 books in one. I don't know what each are about. I know it's small town and I love her. The next 3, I actually own 4 of these because they were all on sale during the Audible sale, are in Gianna Darling's Fallen Men series. So I have After the Fall, Good Gone Bad, Dead Man Walking, and Lessons in Corruption. I did listen to all of these. I would love to finish out the series though. Oh, and I Welcome to the Dark Side. So I actually own 5 of the 6, but when I was doing my reread in preparation for Caution of the Wind, I was rereading Inked in Lies physically and annotating it since that was a reread. But these are all rereads for me, so I just wanted to own the collection so that I could reread them whenever I wanted to, especially as new books come out. So I definitely want to add Inked in Lies to my Audible library, but I own all of these and they are all absolutely fabulous. I really love all the audiobooks. I also have The Deal by Elle Kennedy. I feel like this was like $2. So sometimes when Audible has their sale and you already own the ebook, it'll be even cheaper than what the sale price is. So this one I believe was like $2 for me, and I got it in case I ever wanted to reread it. This is a very popular hockey romance, new adult series that I really liked. I've read it twice already though, so it's kind of fresh in my mind. So if I ever want to reread the series, I have that. I also ended up buying from Blood and Ash. This one was also like $3 or $4, and I was like, if I ever want to reread this, though it is a 20-hour audiobook. I think the max I've done is like 16. I do not know if I can do a 20-hour audiobook. That is so long. But if I ever want to, or ever want to reread like parts, I have this available. It's a fantasy romance. I feel like we all know what From Blood and Ash is about. I really love it. So then I have Carnal Urges by J.T. Geisinger. I feel like this one was part of a sale because I bought Ruthless Creatures for $7.50 when I downloaded it on Kindle because I really wanted to read it for a reading log, but this one was part of a sale and I was like, absolutely yes, I'm gonna download this. This one is so good. It is my favorite of the series and probably one of my favorite romances, at least dark romances of the year. Sloane is hilarious and the hero kidnaps her because she basically starts a mafia war and falls in love with her, and it's really good. I also have Bloody Heart by Sophie Lark. This is another one in the Brutal Birthright series. It is one of my favorites. It is a second chance romance and it was so good, so emotional and angsty. I really like that one. I have The Brit by Jodi Ellen Malpas because this one has been on my radar for years and I never picked it up and I never heard anyone talking about it, and it was on the Audible sale for like $4 or $5, so I decided to pick that up and it was really good. It's a mafia romance. Both of them have a really bad pasts and she's actually being forced to date men to get information out of them because of a reason, and the hero is one of her clients, victims, I don't know what you would call it. So it was really good. I like that one. I also have Beautiful Carnage by Caroline Peckham and Susan Valenti. I believe those are the authors of Zodiac Academy. I wanted to try out more by them because I wasn't the biggest fan of Zodiac Academy, and this one I know is a mafia romance. The narrators have the same last name, so I'm hoping they're like married. That's really cool. So it says, his family killed my brother, so I stole his bride. So I believe like in order to get revenge on a guy, he steals his bride and falls in love with her. Her fiance is hunting them down. This sounds really good. I don't know. I saw it and I wanted it, so I bought it. Then I have Bittersweet Surrender by QB Tyler, which was actually gifted to me by the author. She recently-ish had them made into audiobooks and asked if I wanted a link to one, so she gave it to me and I listened to it and I really enjoyed the audio experience. I think I gave this book 4 stars. It is a cheating romance. She's cheating on her husband with her marriage therapist. A little taboo. Then I have Ruthless Creatures. This one I bought because I was doing a reading vlog, reading mafia romances. I really wanted to get to the series, but I knew I had to physically read a couple other books because I didn't have the audio for those, so I bought this, and it was really good. He moves in next door, and she had recently lost a fiance the day before their wedding, and he just disappeared, and this guy is actually there for a reason. And that's all I want to say. But it's really good. A little insular, but really good. Then I have Heart Recaptured and It Ain't Me Babe by Tilly Cole. Both of these are about 13, 12 hours long, and they are part of the Hades Hangman series. That's all I'll say about that. They are motorcycle romances. It Ain't Me Babe I've read before. It's been so long, so I definitely want to reread that before getting into the other ones. Okay, I'm almost done. I was like, this is never ending. I don't know how long Tori's video is going to be. I have The Kingmaker by Kennedy Ryan. This is another one that was on sale that I was like, immediately download. I'm going to reread this at some point, so I would love to have the audiobook. It was pretty cheap. I love this series so much. They meet at a protest for a pipeline. She is part Native American. His father is the one putting the pipeline in. He does not agree with his father's things that he's doing, and so he gets thrown in jail with her because of the protest. She's too young though. She is definitely a teenager, and he is just like early 20s, and so nothing happens, but this spans years and they fall in love, and it's so good. Oh, and then I have Souls and Fractured, so I guess I have 4 books in the Hades Hangman series on audio, which is awesome. I didn't know I had that many. I better start reading that series soon. I have a bunch of them over there that I haven't read yet, so I really want to get to that series. I have Repeat by Kylie Scott, which I downloaded because it was part of the Audible Plus catalog, and it is a amnesia romance. That's all I know. Then we have Sunset Springs by Case and Calendar, which is a Audible exclusive novella. I don't know if they have a word for those. It says it's just a short story by Case and Calendar. I really enjoyed Case and Calendar's YA, which I don't remember, Felix Ever After. I really enjoy that, and this is Case and Calendar's adult romance, and I think it's MM. So I think that they like go back into their hometown and see each other. I don't know. It sounded cute when I was looking at it, and I like that author, and it's one of their short ones that they have that authors come out with on Audible. I believe like it's only available as an audiobook. You can't read it as anything else, so I wanted to download that from Audible Plus. And I have The Inadequate Heir by Danielle L. Jensen. This one is a 19-hour audiobook, so I never got around to reading it. This was released on audio first, and for like 6 months you could only access the book as an Audible exclusive. Now I do have the paperback over there, so I might actually just physically read this. Fantasy I don't do the best with reading as audio for the first time because I really need to pay attention to it, but I did download it hoping I would listen to it before it came out, but I didn't. That was Audible Plus as well. The last 2 are also Audible Plus. We have Amor, I think, by Kirsten Becker Ritchie, unless I bought this one. I don't remember. I've read this before. I really liked it. They are different titles now, I think, but this is a circus romance. Like, they do acrobatics and stuff in Vegas, so I really enjoyed this, and I would like to read it again at some point. And I have Going Long by Ginger Scott. This is an author I read a very long time ago, and it was on Audible Plus, so I was like, why not? This says they fell in love in high school and they found their way back to each other, so it sounds like a second chance romance. I guess this is book 2 in a series. Good thing I read the synopsis. This is book 2 to Waiting on the Sidelines. So I guess we get like them falling in love in that book, and then this one is the second book to that. So gotta go download the first one. But I've enjoyed Ginger Scott's The Hard Count. That was a football romance that I really liked, so I saw this and wanted it. Those are all the books I have out on Audible. That was a lot. I didn't know this would take me like 30 minutes to do. Hopefully Tori's doesn't take as long as mine. That was a lot to chat through, but let me know if you've read any of these and what you have in your Audible library, what you're excited to read. Let me know if you have Audible, how you listen to audiobooks, or if you have any questions about Audible, let me know. I'll leave a link down below if you are interested in checking it out and joining. I don't know if it's affiliate or not. If I find an affiliate link, I will link it down below. But if you have any questions about how it works, let me know, since I've had it for about 6 months now and I listen to audiobooks all the time. And hopefully they have another great sale again, because I love getting audiobooks for super cheap on their website. But that's all I have. Make sure you go check out Tori's video. I'm super excited to watch and see what audiobooks she has and probably be jealous. She's had Audible for a lot longer than I have, so I would love to see all the books she has as well. So check her video out, but that's all I have. As always, thank you so much for watching and have a good day. Bye.